Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the Reptile Barn. Just walked in here looking at Sorsha, and I noticed immediately, look how collapsed her side is there, and how her hip bone is jutting out. And I was like, oh my gosh, she has laid eggs again. So I started looking. I see sign. I don't know if you can see the topography here of her bedding, but I see signs of it getting all pushed around, like she tested maybe a hole right there. She tested a hole right here. And I looked all around the enclosure here. And look back here. Oh. Now, she's not been bred, so I'm guessing these are not fertile. However, they look perfectly calcified. They look really, really good. I don't know if these types of lizards are ever capable of, there's a word for it. I'm blanking right now, but where they breed without a male. Some reptiles do that. So we're going to go ahead and throw these in the incubator. That would be incredible. But we are also going to breed her. We're going to bulk her up for a week or two, and we're going to go ahead and throw Spyro in. He's our holdback Philippine Sailfin dragon, male. But holy cow, I am just so freaking excited. I really am super excited, because this just means that she's feeling better. She's recovering. Oh man, I am almost speechless, guys. I am so happy. She seems back to perfect health. She's cycling. She feels comfortable enough to cycle. I think what I'm gonna do, rather than put in a specific nest box, I think I'm gonna just add some depth to her current bedding, so that she still has the whole floor to choose from. But I'm betting she's gonna consistently nest back there. Wow. I am just amazed right now. 4 of them this time. Last time was 3, unless I've missed something, but I think I see 4. Wow, and they look really good. Parthenogenesis, that's the word I was looking for, by the way. When a female lays without needing a male, I mean, they feel just perfect. So, wow. I am just so blown away right now. So, for those of you who don't know the story, Sorsha here is a wild-caught Hydrosaurus amboinensis. Okay, that's one of the sailfin species from Indonesia. I believe this is the smallest of the species. And when she came to us, she was pretty dehydrated. Just didn't have a lot of energy. You can go back and watch the video. She seemed to try and run around and ate a little bit that first day, but then she just plummeted. Her health just, man, it was scary. She was limp, had no strength whatsoever. Her entire back end seemed to just go numb. Like, she couldn't feel anything with her back legs. She couldn't move them. She couldn't really use her tail. And so we thought she was a goner, but we got a special diet from the vet that we would mix up, and we would syringe feed her. We started adding in, we'd put stuff in a blender with that diet and some really good gut-loaded roaches, a little bit of like raw quail egg, and then of course some veggies, some greens and stuff. And we would syringe feed her that. And she took that really, really well. Started to perk back up. She started to put a little weight back on. And we were hopeful, but we needed her to regain control of her back end. And then finally she started to use her back legs again in the water. where, you know, she just didn't have that much weight to push around. And she would get a little bit of exercise that way and started to strengthen up her legs. At that point, she started to gain weight again really rapidly, started to look better. Her skin condition looked better. She had a good shed. And then she started to eat on her own, which was another big step. And then, it's been a while now, 3 or 4 months, she started to try and climb again so that she could bask on her own. So she could get as much UV or as little, as much heat or as little as she wanted and behave in a more natural manner. Whereas before, we were having to just do our absolute best to micromanage her basking, her water time, her food intake. You know, we would put her up on her basking spot, and then just a couple hours later, we'd scooch her down so she wasn't directly under it, but could still get some UV. And then we'd put her back in the water. And this was every day, you know, 3 or 4 times a day we were having to come in and move her around and do stuff, but it worked. And she is fully mobile again. She's fast. I always say the only silver lining to a sick reptile, assuming they pull through, is how much more socialized they get, because you're forced to, you know, handle them, to give them medicine or whatever the case may be. So much handling that they just get more used to it. And she's a much, much, much more calm animal now. Again, this is a wild caught animal. And I'll talk about, I've talked about it many times, but I'll talk again in another video about wild caught, should you, shouldn't you, you know, what's the pros and cons and all that. But she is a wild caught animal. So I'm just thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. So we're gonna let her bulk up for a bit after putting so much energy into these eggs. And once her diet's good and strong, I think we're gonna try and breed her and see if we can get some fertile eggs. That would just be incredible. Wow. I am so excited, guys. What a beautiful species. And you know, we'll do an entire video about this concept of hybrid sailfin dragons, you know, pros and cons again. The short version is, long term, that's not really our goal. We'd like to continue having purebred amboinensis, purebred pustulatus, and down the road some of the other species as well. But for now, we don't have a male amboinensis. And Sophie, our adult Philippine sailfin dragon, has finished her cycle for the year. There are a lot of people who hybridize sailfins, even like 3 different species in one, and they look incredible. They're just it's a pet at that point. You know, you don't need to treat it as let's perpetuate this line, but they're still beautiful. They're fully normal animals. You know, it's not like there's some sort of defect from that. But we'll do a whole video about that when the time comes. But wow. And look at her color. Just wow. Mind-blowing. So cool. All right, guys. Well, I hope that you are as excited as me. I'm pretty excited. But I'll let you go. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, we're the Reptile Barn.